Hello everyone, welcome to your next online video lesson with me, Teacher Morgan. And today we're doing Unit 5. Today we start Unit 5, lesson number 1. Okay, so let's go full screen. Hope everyone's having a good day. Okay, just loading. Be with you in a minute. Okay, here we are. Unit 5, lesson number 1. Okay, we start Unit 5 today. Okay, now what is Unit 5? Unit 5 is all about time. What is the time? What's the time? Okay, so Unit 5, we're going to look at time, how to tell the time. Okay, now before we start, let's do a little warm up. We're going to do the 5 times table. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of math. Okay, just to get our brains working today. Okay, so let's do the first one. 1 times 5. What is 1 times 5? That's right, it's 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5, 15. 4 times 5, 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 5, 35. 8 times 5, 40. 9 times 5, 45. And 10 times 5 is 50. Okay, this is your 5 times table. This will help you a little bit later in our lesson. So I hope you can all do your 5 times table. And if you can, practice, 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 because this will help you a lot with Unit 5. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, now to tell the time, we need to look at a clock. Here is your clock. Okay, so to know the time, we need to look at the clock. And what does the clock have? It has 2 hands. It has a small hand. Here is your small hand. What is this one? It's not the small hand, it is the big hand. Okay, so we have a small hand and a big hand. Okay, here's the small and here is the big one. Okay, we also, on this clock, we have a seconds hand. This one is for your seconds. Okay, now the small hand will tell you the hours. Okay, now remember this word, hours. Okay, so of your hours, what is this word? M-I-N-U-T-E-S. That's your minutes. Okay, so we have hours and minutes. That's what the hands on the clock tell you. The small hand is the hours, the big hand is the minutes. Okay, let's move on. So what is the time? What is the time? What is the time? Okay, well, you'll need to tell me the hours and the minutes. Okay, that is what time is. Time is just hours and minutes. Okay, so what is the hour and how many minutes? Okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's look at our clock. So how do we tell what is the hour and how do we tell how many minutes? What do we do? Okay, so first off, the hours are the numbers on the clock. Okay, the numbers on the clock are the hours. And as you can see, there are 12 hours on the clock. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, these are your 12 hours on the clock. Okay, so there are your hours, and here are your minutes. Okay, now the minutes are the numbers on the clock times 5. Okay, that's a quick way of finding out the minutes. And as you can see, there are 60 minutes on the clock. Okay, so you can see 1 times 5 is 5. Remember your 5 times table? 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. 10 times 5? 50. See, it's just the 5 times table. Okay? See, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's just the 5 times table. Okay, now I'll tell you why that is later. Okay, I'll tell you that later. Okay, but let's go back to our question. What is the time? Okay, so you need to tell me the hours and you need to tell me the minutes. Hours and minutes. So let's practice with this clock from earlier. We looked at this one earlier. Okay, so let's bring it in. Okay, now we need to find out what is the hour and we need to find out how many minutes. Okay, so do you remember? How do we find out the hours? What it says here, look, it's the small hand. Okay, so let's look at the small hand. Here it is here. Here is your small hand. Okay, so what number is the small hand pointing at? What is this number? You can see it's 10. There we go. So the hour is 10. The hour is 10. Look, the small hand is pointing at 10. Okay, easy peasy. Okay, so now we just need the minutes. How many minutes? So let's look at the big hand. Okay, here is the big hand. And look, what number is the big hand pointing to? The big hand is pointing to 2. But remember, with the minutes, need to times by 5. Remember your 5 times table. You times by 5. Okay, so what is 2 times 5? What is 2 times 5? That's right, it's 10. So there's your answer. Here is your answer. The time is 10:10. That is the time. What's the time? 10:10. The time is 10:10 because the hour is 10 and the minutes is 10. The hour is 10 and the minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, so that's your first one. Now, I said I would tell you why. Why with the minutes do you times by 5? Why do you do that? Well, it's because these are your minutes. They're very small, okay? So here we have, this is 1 minute. That's 1 minute. Okay, then the next one is 2 minutes. Then we have 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and look, you can see 5 minutes is on the 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, so what's this minute? How many minutes here? That is 6, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next one, 7. Next one, 8. Next one, 9. And the next minute, 10. And look, you can see 2 times 5 is 10. And that will just keep going all the way around. So that'll be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that will go all the way around to 60. There are 60 minutes in an hour. Okay? So that is why you times by 5 to find out the minutes. Okay. So remember, this is what you need to remember. Okay? So remember, it's hour and then the minutes. Okay? Hour and then the minutes. Remember, the hour is the small hand and the minutes, that's the big hand. Okay? And then remember, with the minutes, you have to times by 5 to find out how many. Okay. So this is what you'll need to remember for Unit 5, okay? This is how we read a clock. So maybe we should do a bit of practice. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so first we need to find out the hours. What is the hour? Well, you can see the small hand is pointing here at 2. Okay, so what about the big hand? The big hand is also pointing at 2. So what is 2 times 5? 2 times 5 is 10. So the time is 2:10. What is the time? The time is 2:10. 2:10. So this clock is 2:10. Okay, next one. Okay, now we've got the small hand. The small hand is pointing here, and this is still 2 o'clock, okay? So that's still 2 o'clock. Now the big hand is pointing at 4. So what is 4 times 5? 4 times 5, how many minutes? 4 times 5 is 20. That's right, 20 minutes. Let's just check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's right, 20 minutes. Okay, so the time is 2:20. Okay, next one. Okay, what's the time now? We have the small hand first. It's still 2 o'clock. It's still 2. Okay, and then the big hand. Okay, how many minutes? If the big hand is pointing at 6. So it's 6 times 5. 6 times 5, what is that? That's 30. Okay, so what is the time? The time is 2:30. That is the time. Okay, I hope you're okay with this, guys. It's very early doors. It's okay if you find this a bit difficult. We will get there. I promise you will find this easy by the end of Unit 5. But let's try another one. Okay, another one. Okay, again, the small hand is with 2. All of this is 2 o'clock. Okay, so that is still 2. The hour is 2. And what about the minutes? How many minutes? This time the big hand is pointing at 8. So how we need to do 8, 8, not 7, 8 times 5. So what is 8 times 5? That's a hard one. The minutes, that's 40 minutes. 8 times 5 is 40. So the time is 2:40. Okay. Oh, okay. Why is that here? Oh, okay. Oh, whoa. Sorry. I went a bit faster. I hope you didn't see that. Okay, so this shouldn't be here. Okay, so let's go through this one. Small hand hours. Let's look. You see it's pointing here. You think it's 3. You think, oh, is that 3? It looks like it's pointing at 3, but it's not 3. It's 2. Now, why is it 2? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, now big hand. Let's do the big hand. The big hand is pointing at 10. So that is 10 times 5. What's 10 times 5? That's right, it's 50. That's 2:50. The time is 2:50. Okay, but why not 3? It looks like it's 3. It looks so close to 3. Why not 3? Why is it 2 and not 3? Well, let's see. It's because all of this from 2 to 3, all of this is 2. Okay, all of that is 2. And then, so let's put the dot. And you can see it is still 2. It's not yet 3. It's very close, Glymac, so close, but it's not 3 yet. Here is 3, okay? There is 3 here. From 3 to 4, that is 3. And then from 4 to 5 is 4. Okay, that's been there the whole time. So you can see what I want you to see is from 2 until 3 is 2. Okay, so it's still the same until it gets to the next number. Okay, so from here to here is 5. Here to here is 6. Here to here is 7. Then we have 8. Then here to here is 9. Here to here is 10. And here to here is 11. Okay, so that is how you work out the hour. Okay, so the hour is from the start of the hour until the end of the hour. That's all the same. Okay, I hope you guys understand. Okay, well, that is us done for today. A quick little introduction to telling the time. If you're still not comfortable with it, you still feel like you aren't ready, don't worry. By the end of the first 3 videos, I'm sure you'll be able to tell the time by yourself. I hope, anyway, that is my hope. Anyway, let's go through our lesson summary. We went over the hands on the clock. You have a big hand and a small hand. Big hand is minutes, small hand hours. Remember, we went over time. What is time? Time is the hour plus the minutes. Okay, so you need to look at the hands of the clock. And remember, the hours, there are 12 hours. And the minutes, there are 60 minutes. Okay, so guys, that is us all finished for today. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next video for lesson number 2 on time in Unit 5. If you have any questions, you can send me a message online if you have any problems. But I hope you guys will be learning this no problem. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Keep studying and speaking.